The Old-Fashioned Thanksgiving by Louisa May Alcott, illustrated by Jody Wheeler. Old-Fashioned Thanksgiving for the Wheeler sisters, Margaret, Jane, and Betty. Many, many years ago, up along the New Hampshire hill, lived Farmer Bassett with his wife and a house full of sturdy sons. Daughters growing up to be out him, they were poor in money but enriched in land and love. There were wide acres of wild corn, pastures, land fed, warm clothed the flock, while mutual patience, affection, and courage made the old farmhouse a very happy home. November came and crops were in, barn, butter, and bin were overflowing. The harvest rewarded some of his hard work, and the fireplace a cheerful reward. Savory smells were in the air. Down among the red embers, saucepans simmered, suggestive and coachy approach. A white-headed baby lay in the cradle, now and then lifting his head to look out. Sucking the rosy apple, he had no teeth to bite. Two small boys sat in the windsow shelling corn for popping and sorting hazelnuts. Four young girls stood at the couching table, busy chopping meat, pounding spice, and slicing apples. Farmer Bassett and Ep, the oldest boy, were doing chores outside. Thanksgiving was at hand, and it all must be in our time-honored day. To and fro from the table to her, brustly boxing Miss Bassett, all flush and flurry. Only one more day, and then it will be time to eat. And Seth's the soul, and he cracked a nut and easy as a squirrel. I like to have a Thanksgiving eat early day, answers Solomon, glowing over the table filled with food. Not me, cried the mother, and is plunging into her plump arms and bread and down the bread meal. I think it's real fun to have Thanksgiving at home. Tilly, the eldest daughter, pausing to take off a sniff of her spicy pestle, but I'm sorry that Grandma's sick and we can't go there as usual. There is a man coming up the hill lively. Guess it's a Glad Hopkins. Pat told him bring dazzling oranges and weren't too high, shouted Sol and Seth, running to the door, while the girls smacked their lips at the thought of a rare treat. Baby threw his apple overboard as if getting ready for the new cargo. But we're all disappointed, for it was not Gad with the much-desired fruit. It was a stranger who threw himself off the horse and hurled up the basket, and some brief messages made the farmer drop his axe. The man said Miss Chadwick told him that Miss Bassett, her mother, was falling fast, and she'd better come today. A few words told the story. The children left their work to help their mother get ready. By the time the old yellow sleigh was at the door, Miss Bassett was waiting for the baby grown up to come with a small blade and buckets. Now, Ethel, as you look up in the cattle and sweep up the flies, there was a storm brewing. Mr. Bassett, till he put his comfortable his bed's eyes. Anyway, keep strong and good. Yes, I am. Goodbye, goodbye, called the children as Miss Bassett packed up the sleigh and driven away, leaving a stream of directions behind her. Eph immediately put the biggest boots and shared responsibilities of parent air till he tied the mother's keys and began to order younger girls. They soon forgot Granny and found it fun to keep inside alone. A few flakes that caused their father to predict bad weather soon increased to a regular snowstorm, but up among the hills, winter came early and lingered around, but Tilly got them a good dinner and Ep kept up a glorious fire. But when the moon-faced clock behind the door struck 1, Tilly tucked the children under extreme comfortables, and having kissed them all around the mother's bed, she crept into her own nest. Then they woke, and still snowing, the little Bassets jumped up and broke the ice in the pitchers. After a brisk scrub, they were downstairs with cheeks around the apples. Now down dinner, began Tilly. Ma didn't expect us to real Thanksgiving dinner. Interrupt pure doubtful. I can roast a turkey, making a pudding as well as anybody. I guess, cried Tilly, enjoying her brief authority. Yes, cried the boys. Let's have dinner. Ma won't care. Pa is coming tonight, so we won't have dinner late till night. We'll give you plenty of time, said Tilly. Did you ever roast a turkey? Roast Roxy the interest. Should you try? Said Rhodey. I'm awestruck tone. You should see what I can do. You have to do at least let me work, commanded Tilly. So Tilly attacked the plum pudding, and she had her mother to do it many times. It looked easy, but forgot both sugar and salt. She tried in preparation so tightly in the cloth that the room no room to swell. It was to come out as heavy as head and hard as cannonball. Happily, unconscious as 3 mistakes, Tilly dropped up in the pot in boiling water. I can't remember what flavoring put, Tilly says. She soaked her bread for the stuffing. Seems to me it was sweet marijuana, summer savory, put it both. The best herbs are in the attic. You get some, Pure commanded Tilly, driving the mess. Pure set aside her onion chopping and trolley away in the taste of the Dark attic, but the nose that smelled only onions, she got catnipped and wormwood instead. Eager to use, she pounded up the herbs and scattered from the large bowl. It did smell just right, but I suppose it would then be cooked, said Tilly as she filled the empty turkey. Well, satisfied with the work, and she left it before I came. It took a long time to get vegetables ready. For the girls, they thought they would never short if it helped. By noon, it was already cooked. Now y'all go and sled while Miss Brown was sled table and get out the best china. Bet on having her dinner look good, no matter what was the fallings might be. Out came the rough sleds. On went the roads, old hats, red cloaks, and moccasins, and away truggled the 4 younger Bassets to amuse themselves in the snow. F took his fiddle and scrapped away in the parlor, while the girls, after a short rest, set the table. The cloth was coarse, but while as snow, they made no napkins, a little silver, but the best tankard and Ma's flue patting spoons were set forth state. The place of honor was left in the middle of the oranges yet to come. Doesn't it look beautiful? The pure and white paws, pretty nice. As Ma could see it begin to with a loud, howling, startling. Both girls sent him a flying in the window. The short afternoon had paused as quickly as twilight and come in, and now they saw 4 small black figures tearing up the road, upcoming, bursting, screaming at once. The bear, get the gun. F gotten down the gun before the girls climbed down the children enough to tell the story. Down the holler sledding, we heard a growl, began slowly. With eyes as big as saucers, I saw him first, looking down with a towel. What's that? Awful big, shy, quavered Roxy, pointing to Tilly. He hid the purest search, piped out, his greatest paws. He ran as fast as he could, crawling after us, awful hungry. Looking about for a safe retreat, F didn't let him eat us. Cried both little girls, flying upstairs to hide on mother's bed. No danger of that, little Grease. I'll shoot him like as soon as he comes. Get out of the way now, boys. F says he raised the window. Where is he? Don't miss. Fall soul who had climbed up the top of the cupboard. Prue stationed herself by the earth and has been dying in her post. But Tilly boldly stood at the top of the window, ready to lean a hand, and any proved too much for F. Get the axe, Tilly, as I should miss. Stand ready to keep him off while I load it again. Tilly flew off the axe, and her brother sighed at the time. Barrow knew enough to be dangerous. Fire, F, said Timmy firmly. Wait till the ears again, and the better shot, answered the boy. Pure covered, eyes covered. Boys cheer from her dusted up the pumpkins. Suddenly, Tilly threw the axe, flung the door, ran straight through the arms of the bear, who stood up straight to receive her. The growl was changed to a loud ha-ha that startled the children more than the report of a gun. It's glad Cop is trying to fool us. Glad how you could scare us so, laughed Tilly. Gad drew a dozen oranges from some deep pockets and fired them to the kitchen window. Good aim at F. Ducked a pure scream, and Soul Seth came down quicker than went up. Well, I'm set my sleigh, and the horse held to me. I tried on my buffalo skins to Tor, and he walked in and saw the children's needles. I meant to give him a little scare, but when they ran, I kept the joke up. CF would like company. Would you like to have a warm welcome if you put a bullet in you? Old clap. Coming out with children. Come in and have dinner with us. Trying to escape, Pa will help comes along, I reckon. I can't. My folks will think I'm dead, but I don't get along home. And his own check tingled with a smart slap, gave him his ran away, yelling that she hated bears and might have an axe next time. Sakes alive, the turkey is blunt on one side. Well, I couldn't think of a dinner, and Eden ran out and orange began. Tilly laughed, and all the rest joined in. The spirits of the younger ones were received, and Sexton went Andrew. Quickly passed hand to hand. The Willows dished up the dinner and rolled, struggling to get the pudding out of the cloth when Roxy called out, "Here's Pa." Their folks told him, added Raleigh, "Lots of them. I see the big sleighs flocking full. It looks like a funeral." And with the funeral, the mirrors come calling Jolie. Effa's merry voices broke the wide silence. "I see fat Aunt Kinthy and Cousin Hetty, and there's Moses and Amos." "I do declare," paused Bergen. "All home leaving some of him here," cried Pure. "Oh, I'm so glad I got dinner," called Tilly, with the twins dancing. The small boys cheered. The cheery was answered heartily with almost poured father. "Isn't Grandma dead at all?" asked Sol in the midst of the kissing and handshaking. "Bless your heart, no. It was a mistake. Mother was sitting in the church and plays a dreadful story. You didn't all come." "What in the world are you getting in such a supper?" asked Mr. Bassett, looking about him. Tilly modestly began to tell, and the others broke in and sang her praise in short choice and pears and pies and oranges and oddly mixed. Satisfaction was expressed by all, and Tilly pursed her dinner. Sure, everything was perfect, but when big cousin Mose went to the first taste of suffering, he nearly choked the bitter morsel. Tilly Bassett, whenever made, would put warm wood catnip in his stuffing. "You're trying to be severe," for all the rest were laughing until he looked ready to cry. "I did it. Nobody taking the blame." McCaw said Pa to kiss her on the spot, declared he didn't do might harm, for the turkey was all right. "Well, I never seen onions cooked better, and Aunt Kinthy and all the veg were all done, and dinner and a credit for you, my dears. The pudding was in the utter failure, despite the blazing brandy in such a lay that it hard when stones, balls, great gut. It was speedy wish out of the way, and full upon the pies and the perfect, but Tilly Pure was depressed and didn't recover all the dinners whatsoever, and the evening was full underway. Blind Man Buff and Hunt the Slipper. The other games soon set everyone bubbling over the merriment, and when F struck up the fiddle, old men fell to places for a dance, apples and cider chat singing fresh in the evening. After a grand kissing all round, the guests drove off in the clever moonlight and just came in clever off life. When the jingle or the last bell was died away, Mr. Bassett said soberly as they stood together at the hearth, "Children, you have a special cause to be thankful for the sorrow expected has changed into joy. We read a chapter for all in bed and give thanks to the thanks due." Then Tilly set out his light hand, his big bubble on it, a candle of each side, all set quietly, firelight simming, as they lightened the happy parts. Old words that I all times season so beautifully. When the good nights were over, children went in bed. Pure put her arm around Tilly, and she felt the older sister shaking. It was sure was crying. "Don't remind me about old stuff," and put in dearly. Pure whispered to him because nobody cared. Ma said, "Really? Did you so surprisingly well such a young girls?" The laughter Tilly was trying to smother broke in them. Then was so infectious that Pure couldn't help joining her, even before she was causing the merriment. "I was mad about the mistakes, but don't you cry enough for her. I'm laughing to make sure Gad fooled F, and I found him out. I thought Moses and Amos would have died over it was told them, and it was so funny," explained Tilly when she got her breath. "I was so scared that when the first orange hit me, I thought I was a bullet, scrabbed in the cradle as I could. I was really frightened," laughed Pure, and just gave a growl. Hear a smart rap on the wall in the next room caused sudden halt in the fun. Miss Presley's voice was heard, saying, "Girls, go to sleep immediately. You're awake by the baby." "Yes, answered two merry voices. After a few inspired giggles, silence reigned, broken only by an occasional snore, and boys snored slowly on the mice in the buttery, taking part of an old-fashioned Thanksgiving.